folks, happy birthday, huh? It's one of your birthdays. I know it's one of your birthdays. Today we're going to be figuring out AITAH, which is Am I the Asshole? We are going to be judging strangers anonymously on Reddit while you... What are you doing? You eating lunch? Huh? You doodling? What are you doing? You about to go to bed? You just woke up? You making breakfast? Huh? What are you... What activity are you doing? Let me know. We are going to check this story out. First story is AITAH. Husband cut off my son's hair, so I used his card to buy my son the designer jacket he's been wanting. My son is 17 years old, and pretty much all his life he has had long hair. He had long, thick, and very well-maintained black hair that went just past his chest, and he loved it. Whoa, that's long. My husband, his stepdad, ooh, interesting, has never been a fan of it and has always thought it was girly. He's never been mean or cruel about it to my son's face, but he has said to me that he thinks he should cut it off. The two of them got into a huge fight because my son has been skipping his classes. Well, that's not good, right? I mean, that's not very good, is it? And my husband decided that to punish him, he was going to cut his hair. I don't know how it went down, but when I came home, my son was crying and cutting his own hair in the mirror. He's cutting his own hair? That doesn't seem like a weird masochistic thing that he was forced to do. Like the husband wasn't like, if you don't cut your own hair, I'm gonna blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's weird. I asked him what was wrong and what he was doing, and he told me my husband had randomly cut his hair short in spots, and now he had to cut it really short to even it out and make it look okay. That's even worse. I went and spoke to my husband to find out the specifics of what happened from his side as well, and it ended up in yelling because while I don't agree with my son skipping classes, I felt that cutting his hair over it was cruel and horrible when this could have been resolved another way. Yeah, and also, what do you think the byproduct is going to be of him having a bad haircut? You think he's going to want to go to class if he's proud of his hair? So if he gets all of his haircut, his lion's mane has been removed. Now suddenly he doesn't have that incentive to go to class. If you feel ugly, you don't want to go places. You think he's going to go? What the? Your husband's the asshole for sure. To cheer up my son, I bought him this Affliction leather jacket that he's wanted for a while out of my husband's money. My husband found out and was furious, but I told him he shouldn't have cut my son's hair and he can do this as an apology. It's going to take years for my son's hair to grow back, but my husband can make that money back quickly. AITAH. Your husband is an asshole. Yeah. You and your husband have really bad communication skills. I'll say that. You buying something out of revenge. I don't know what the comments are going to say. There's 2,000 of them, so there's going to be a lot of opinions here, but you guys need to figure this out because the way your husband is treating your son is weird. I don't like that. You two need to agree, especially if he's the stepfather and he's the one handing out discipline and it's your bio kid. This is weird. You guys need to work on your communication skills. Are you the asshole? I don't think so, but what you're doing ain't good either. You know, buying a jacket that's expensive theoretically out of this guy's money. If you two are exchanging blows in a way, this is like a revenge thing you did in a way. There's a reason why you didn't pay for it out of your own money. You did it out of his as a slight to him. I get the urge to do that, but I don't know. This is not healthy at all. Let's see what the comments have to say. I think it's all bad. That's what I think. But to be clear with you guys, what the husband did was really bad. You as the mother need to figure out how to deal with the husband. You might be the asshole because if that's the only way you're going to deal with this, then you're the asshole. You should divorce this man. If someone did that to my child, that would be it. The relationship would be over. He thinks it's okay to ignore someone's bodily autonomy. How'd he like a taste of his own medicine? He would not like how I gave it to him. Probably. Rectally. She just told us a story of her son being assaulted by the man she brought into their home. She typed the whole thing out and she actually thinks the issue has been resolved. What the actual... Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. If the jacket thing is it, that ain't it. That's how you get your revenge. That's how you do it. You just buy him a nice jacket. No, dude, you gotta figure something. This ain't good, homie. Can't wait for stepdad to escalate this game because, you know, you're allowing it. In some places, cutting hair without consent is considered battery. If somebody cut my hair without my consent, there would absolutely be battery charges, very likely for the both of us. You're the asshole for not protecting your son. You're the asshole for allowing his stepfather to assault him. You're the asshole for thinking an expensive gift purchased with a purloined credit card. Not a word I've ever heard in my life. Purloined?
Purloin.
Past tense, purloined, past participle, purloined. Oh, good. Steal something. Purloin? Y'all ever heard of this word? Makes everything okay. Your poor kid, what terribly lessons are you teaching him? Yeah, see, all of this is really dunking on her. If you think your son did not know how your husband felt about his hair, you're wrong. If you think your husband didn't make comments about your son's hair to your son, you're wrong. Cheese and crackers, lady, when you weren't around... Cheese and crackers, lady, when you weren't around, your husband cut off your child's hair and you think your husband never said anything to your son? Seriously? Newsflash, your husband has been saying stuff to your kid for years and his verbal abuse just turned into physical abuse because yes, cutting your son's hair was physical assault. Buying your son a jacket does absolutely nothing to help here. Your son still lives with the person who physically assaulted him. Wow. I'm getting a haircut today. Next time you see me, it's going to be just a big old mohawk, bald on either side, and I'm going to tattoo the sides of my skull. What am I going to tattoo? I'm going to tattoo hair. Surprise mega out! AITAH for making a mom pick up her daughter in the middle of the night from my kid's sleepover. No, especially if that kid's a monster. Hopefully the kid's a monster. Let's see. Let's find out. This weekend, I had a small birthday sleepover for my 8-year-old daughter and a couple of her friends. The night started completely normal. The girls had snacks, watched movies, and went to bed at around 10:30. Dude, you remember those pizza pockets? Huh? Not pizza pockets. You remember those little pizza rolls? Totino's pizza rolls? I used to watch Nick at Night at my grandparents' house, laying on a blanket, me and my brother, watching Nick at Night at Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, etc., and just enjoying pizza rolls. And Nesquik chocolate milk. Nesquik chocolate milk! I remember when my body used to be able to digest lactose. The girls had snacks, they watched movies, went to bed around 10:30, but at around 1:30 in the morning, one of them came into my room crying and woke me up. I'm a single mom here, so there was no man in the room, don't worry. She said she was scared and wanted her mom. While I was trying to calm her down, she told me that this was her first time sleeping somewhere new, which was unbeknownst to me and caught me off guard. I did my best to try to comfort her. I sat with her and got her a drink, but she kept crying and getting more worked up, repeating that she wanted to go home. Interesting. I'm going to pause here for a second because I used to teach at summer programs with middle school kids where it would be their first time at a sleepaway camp, at a sleepaway program. It's a 3-week program. And right around night 2 or 3, at some point within the first week, a lot of them, even the strong ones, even the ones that you would never think, go through this. We're trained to deal with this. And it's just reassuring. It's like, hey, you're here with friends. It's going to be great. You're going to feel so much better when you wake up tomorrow. I promise. It feels weird now, but you're going to feel really good tomorrow. And you can get through this. I'm here for you. And a lot of times the parents would be like in China, or they would be like, in California, or they'd be somewhere across the country. And this program was in Massachusetts. And so we had to tell these kids, like, hey, you're staying here. You're getting homesick. I know, I get it. But the whole point is to make friends, and you're gonna love these people, and you're gonna make memories for the rest of your life. And so we were taught to kind of try to be there for the kids and really. And it sounds like that's what she was doing. It sounds like this person op here, the single mom, was sitting with her, got her a drink. You gave it time. It wasn't getting any better. It was 1:30, and this single mom is tired. You got stuff to do, so of course you're probably gonna pull the trigger, and you're gonna call the mom. So let's see. So at that point, I felt like it wouldn't be right to force her to stay somewhere where she was clearly not happy. So I called her mom and asked if she could come pick her up right then and there. Her mom came, but she seemed annoyed. The next morning, she texted me saying she had wished I just waited it out until the morning because now her daughter is embarrassed and might not want to try sleepovers again. I'm going to talk about exposure therapy for a second, but there's something called the anxiety hierarchy in exposure therapy. And the basic principle behind it is if you're anxious about something and you avoid that thing, it reinforces the anxiety a lot of times, unless there's a dangerous consequence, for example, freaking petting a lion, you know what I mean? Anyway, but that's a big thing. You have to run towards the things that you're afraid of. That's something that I've been doing all year long. I've really been, this year in particular, 2026, I've been racing towards things that make me scared, and my entire life has changed in just a couple of months. I swear to God. I swear to you, dude, I started doing things that freak me out, and my belief in my ability to do difficult things has skyrocketed, and now I feel so much more confident in my life. But this mom, this single mom having to sleep over with the kids, yada yada, you're not trained to deal with homesickness from another child. You're tired too. It was 1:30 in the morning. Is it your responsibility? No. Could it have been a teachable moment that you get them through it? Yeah, but also check this out though. If the other mom found out that this little girl, was crying, begging to go home, wanting to see their mom, and the parent wasn't contacted? Imagine that for a second. It's not like they're across the country and sent off for 3 weeks. No, this is somebody in the neighborhood. This is somebody, 20 minutes away. Whatever. I want my mom. Okay. I think this is a good parenting moment for the mom. But the daughter feeling embarrassed is kind of sad. And that's common. That's real. I mean, this is such a real situation. This is so real. Again, if you've ever taught at a summer program or a boarding school or something like that, this is so common. Let's see. Where I'm frustrated is that I feel like I was put in a bad position and destined to fail from the start, no matter what. I wasn't made aware that this was her first sleepover, and I don't think it's fair to use someone else's house, especially during their child's birthday party, as the guinea pig without giving a heads up. Is it always a big deal for a sleepover? I don't know. I'm not mad at the girl at all. I feel really bad for her. Felt really bad for her. But I also don't think it was my job to handle that level of distress all night. But I'm wondering if I should have just stayed up with her a bit longer to see if she'd go back to sleep and try to push through until morning, as the mom said. I still remember when I got dropped off for kindergarten or something for the first time. I remember crying and like holding my mom's leg. I remember doing that. Then it got better. Then I made friends. Then for lunch we had little wieners and I peeled the skin off the hot dog. Anybody ever do that? I don't remember why I did that, but I just now flashed back to like my 5-6-year-old self, and I used to peel the skin off the hot dogs. What was that about? I think I have therapy tomorrow. I do. Yeah, I'm going to bring that up. Not the asshole at all. Mom should have told you that it was the girl's first sleepover, for one, and that poor girl's embarrassment is unfortunate, but it happens to a lot of us at that age. That is true. It will pass, and the girls will forget and move on to other things. That is also true. Yeah, when you're 12, 13, 14... you're gonna be fine. Hopefully that mom pushes that girl to do things that are a little bit uncomfortable so she can grow and have more of that self-confidence. Whether it's like seeing things that are high and like being a little scared and doing it anyway. But people, dude, the best thing you can do in your life is feeling scared and doing it anyway, and then feeling that sense of confidence after the fact. That's like the best thing you can do. And I'm challenging you to find that thing for you this week. Anyway, let's keep reading. Thank you. We're kind of new to the neighborhood, so I was worried that this just ruined my daughter's shots at having friends and mom friends for me. But that mom seems like someone I wouldn't want to be friends with anyway, LOL. NTA, I was that little girl growing up. My parents had to get me several times, and they did without complaint. That mother expecting you to refuse that little girl's pleas to go home is bonkers. Not only is it cruel, but sets you up for trouble. Yeah, that's true. That's what I was thinking too. You did the right thing for you and that little girl. That mother was only thinking about herself. It takes balls to expect another mother to deal with their own upset child in the middle of the night. True. It's a really good point. You say she was getting more worked up as you tried to comfort her. That means she needed to go home. Staying was too much for her at this point, and she needed her own mom. It wasn't going to get any better. Invite the girl back over for a movie and popcorn or something and tell her she was no trouble at all, and we all get scared and need our moms sometimes. She can always go home if she's having a bad time. It's unfortunate her mother is upset and you can't fix that, but hopefully it'll blow over and she'll get over it. She's probably embarrassed she didn't realize she should have told you it was her daughter's first sleepover and that she was so emotional in front of you. You're not the asshole. You did the right thing. She's only 8. That's very sweet. I agree with this. Yeah, the mom is probably embarrassed for her kid, and also upset she had to get up at 1:30. We don't know what kind of job she has. You know, maybe she has to wake up at 5 as a nurse or something. I don't know, dude. But it's a lot. NTA, it wasn't your job to handle that level of distress, and the little girl asked to go home. You did the right thing. Yeah, what are you going to do? You're going to say no? That'd have been weird. That would have felt weird. Yeah, NTA, that's what I say about this. Would I be the asshole for changing my baby's name after my mom secretly told my sister I was pregnant? I, 39 female, have always had a difficult relationship with my parents. A lot of it comes from how they handled my older sister, 44-year-old female, who was verbally and physically abusive to me growing up. They never protected me from her, and she was always very clearly the golden child. Even as adults, the pattern has continued. For example, my mom left to visit her when I was making a special trip to see them, even though I was driving 15 hours. Over the last 10 years, I have tried to rebuild my relationship with them, partly because my husband has a healthy family and encouraged me to. Things seem to be getting better with a lot of effort from me and some from them. Now I'm pregnant after struggling with infertility for a long time. Early on, I was very private about the pregnancy because I was afraid of miscarriage. I was especially clear that I did not want my sister to know because she has used vulnerable things against me before and has been cruel about my infertility in the past. Okay, so you want to know for sure you're gonna carry it to term. When I first told my parents, I told them not to tell anyone. Later, when I was more comfortable sharing, I told them they could tell others, but not my sister. I repeated this boundary at least 3 separate times, and I have text messages documenting it. Both of them agreed. All right, expectations set. I'm sure this will be fine. I recently found out that my mother told my sister anyway, and apparently did so right away. Then she lied about it for about 3 months. She only admitted it after I explained how much it meant to me that my sister not be included in my pregnancy information. This really hurt me, not just because of the pregnancy itself, but because it feels like the same old pattern of my sister's feelings mattering more than mine. Since this incentive, I've gone low contact with my mom. Before this happened, I naively planned to give my baby my mother's first name as her middle name. For me, it was a testament to our growing relationship, and I honestly thought we turned over a new leaf, especially with the baby coming. I had even already shared the plan for the baby's full name with our whole family, both sides. Yikes. That's the thing. If you were thinking of doing this secretly, that was different, but now it's out there, and the mom knows that you were going to give her the middle name. Now I don't want to do that anymore. Every time I think of using her name, I feel upset instead of happy. So, would I be the asshole for changing the middle name? My mom will absolutely be hurt, and there will probably be tears and drama. There will definitely be yes, of course. Part of me feels guilty because I know this will look retaliatory, especially since I had already announced the name. It is retaliatory. That's okay. But another part of me feels like honoring someone in my child's name should mean something, and right now, I don't feel like honoring her. Also, if you have any ideas for minimizing the fallout of doing this, I would greatly appreciate it. Look, it sounds like you've already decided you're going to do it, so that's that. You announce the name to everybody. I mean, God. And the thing is, like, here's what's going to happen. If the mom keeps crossing your boundaries all the time, and if your baby's middle name has your mom's name, your mom is going to have ownership over that, and your mom is going to be like, well, you are named after me, so blah, 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 blah. I can do this. She's named after me. I can do, I don't know. I just feel a little bit of that going on. I'm not going to lie to you. It's more ammo, more power for the mother to wield against you in a weird way. I know that's a strange thing, but I'm kind of siding with you on this. I am. I think you should name your kid what you want, and if you feel like your mom is not safe enough for you to be able to tell your secrets to and have a private relationship with, like have a good, intimate, like familial relationship with, to where you can tell her your secrets and you can trust her and you feel like she's your mom and she's got your back, but she doesn't. She's spilling it to your sister, which is also a very hard thing to ask a mother, right? It's to like, hey, keep this quiet from your sister. That's keep this quiet from your firstborn daughter. That's a tough task, but I feel like most people could do that. I feel like they would understand the circumstances. They'd be like, yeah, no, I won't tell her. That's for you to tell your sister. Sure. Yeah, no, I don't think you'd be the asshole at all. I think this is certainly a giant fork in the road, and how your mother responds to this is going to dictate the rest of your life. I will say that if you didn't do this, there would be less friction in the immediate future, but more friction altogether over the course of the rest of your life. I don't know. Let's see what the comments have to say. I really don't know. It does suck that you already said the baby's name, and it will feel very retaliatory. It will be very targeted, and your mom is going to throw a big stink about it, and it's going to be ugly because you already said what the name is going to be. Let's see what the comments have to say. No need to minimize the fallout. Use another middle name. Your mother does not deserve the honor. All the best for you. Yeah, in naming your child after someone, it has to be the person who respects and loves you, not the one who disregards you. Yeah. I agree. I also wouldn't announce the name change prior. Just let everyone know the name when the baby is born. She won't want to deal with being harassed by opposite side of the family for the rest of her pregnancy. That's more unneeded stress on her. Oh, that's a really good idea. Yeah, so I mean, unless, of course, the mom pesters and is like, yeah, so her middle name's Lorraine, right? Or her middle name's going to be Lorraine, right? I don't know. I feel like the name is Lorraine. I'm getting Lorraine vibes from this story. This is why I don't think baby names should be announced in advance. Sometimes you look at the new kid and say, oh my God, this is not a Gertrude, this is a Hannah. I didn't know. Some people keep a few names in their pockets and await the introductions with their new family member to choose. Then there are all the crazy friends and family who would steal a name. Yes, you cannot steal a name, but taking someone else's choice because you're petty, I almost read pretty, and cannot be bothered isn't right either. I am sure there is an aunt or grandparent or some other woman who can steal a name from for her new little. Over the last 10 years, I have tried to rebuild my relationship with them, and then this top comment here says, stop doing that. Doesn't matter what your husband encourages you to do. He doesn't know because he was from a stable family. Stop putting in all this effort, getting almost nothing back. Surround yourself with people who do care. Friends, colleagues, neighbors, or perhaps even people you meet at pregnancy gym. Pardon? Did you say pregnancy gym? Is that like Lamaze classes? I'm looking this up right now. I gotta look this up right now, because if there's a gym where there's a bunch of pregnant ladies squatting 400 pounds, I'm gonna donate and feel good about helping these babies be born with six-pack abs. What the So it's like gyms that specialize in pregnant ladies? Like is that the same as a Lamaze class? Who knows? Tell me. I'm missing something here. Anyway, stop having these expectations from your family. NTA, if you change the name, don't let them argue with you about it. Call less, visit less, stop updating your mom. You minimize the fallout by not being available to let them argue with you. So don't pick up the phone. If they text, be slow to reply, etc. All right, this person's talking about icing out unhealthy family members. Ice out your toxic mother. Taking advice from people with healthy families will get you nowhere. Take care of yourself and protect your peace. When people show you who they are, believe them. Sometimes you gotta cut the toxicity out. You can't eat rotten food. You gotta throw it away. No matter how much you try to wash it and cut out little bits and blah, blah, blah. Like sometimes if a food is just disgusting and rotten, it's been out for weeks, you can't eat it. You gotta chuck it. If you eat it, you will be in pain. No matter what you do, you'll be in pain if you eat that blueberry that's been sitting on the patio for 4 months. I'm sorry that this is happening. That sucks. And you're pregnant and dealing with all this, dude? Hey, man, time to get your husband to step up a little bit. Lean on your husband during this time. Let's see what happens. Your sister can name her baby after your mother. And if your mother asks, just tell her it was her behavior that changed your mind. Ooh, that's a pretty big chess move right there. And if she says you're being petty, remind her of everything. And tell her she doesn't deserve to have your child named after her. But that honor goes to your sister, and she can name hers after your mother. Okay. I think if you tell your mom you don't deserve to have my child named after you, that's whoosh, very final. I think a lot of this advice is like extremely final. You know what I mean? Like you can have your big blowout moment, you can have your big cathartic emotional moment, but like if they're going to be around and trying to contact you for the rest of your life, is that a path I want to take? It's a fork in the road. Do I want to do that? Do I want to cut her out entirely? Yes, no. And then if you do, then great. Do it, but build your support system. That's what I mean. Proceed with caution. Try to be somewhat logical about this because this is going to be very hard to pull off. This is a really tricky maneuver. My mom will absolutely be hurt, which she richly deserves, under the principle of F around and find out. If I were in your position, I would go no contact whatsoever and keep these vile people out of your child's life for keeps. Yeah, everybody's saying NTA. Cut mom out. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You repeated this boundary 3 times. You said, don't tell my sister. She ignored you. It's kind of like it's you versus your mom and your sister. And that sucks. You don't want to be in a relationship like that, And your mom leaving to visit your sister when you were making a special trip to go see them after driving for 15 hours. Your mom's like, I don't need to be here. Bye. Your mom sucks. Good luck to you, child. Ooh, this next story is a juicy one. Oh, wow. AITAH for telling my boyfriend not to come over anymore if he doesn't move in with me. Throwaway account because I don't want my boyfriend finding this. Me, 19-year-old female, my boyfriend, 19-year-old male, y'all are young, have been together for almost 2 years, 1 year and 10 months. For context, I moved into my 1-bedroom apartment about 6 months ago. Congratulations. I live alone. I pay my bills alone. I buy my own groceries. My boyfriend comes over every single day. And I'm not just saying that. He is literally there every day. Oh, we're dealing with a moocher. Okay. I get home from work, and by the time I'm out of the shower, he is at the apartment. I didn't really mind at first because I was excited he was seeing me every day. Because before that, he told me he didn't want to spend a lot of time with me, that it was overwhelming to him. So I was excited and happy he wanted to be with me. My love language is quality time. Well, fast forward, I've noticed an increase in my bills. Just last month, my utility bill increased by $70. Whether this was weather or him, I'm not totally sure, but he's been there even when I'm not there. He's taken showers, he's watched TV. I'm not a huge TV person, and he'll leave the lights on, not to mention he uses the restroom all the time. That boy be pissin', sometimes 3 times. So there's that. What do you mean? What do you mean sometimes 3 times? Like he'll be in the toilet and he'll flush 3 times back to back. That's great. That's a lot of pee. And then I'm running out of my groceries faster than I'd like. I buy groceries just enough for me every 2 weeks, my pay schedule. I buy a pack of Cokes, 12, and that should last me the entire month as I don't drink a lot of soda. But what do you know? I'm running out in 2 weeks. Why? Well, an example of him drinking all my sodas would be when we were watching TV, he ordered us a pizza, and while we were eating, he offered to grab me a drink, and I just told him to grab me a water, and he grabbed himself a soda, which I didn't mind since, like I said, I don't drink them often. He drinks the first soda, and then he goes up to grab a second. He comes back to the table and drinks the second. I was visibly annoyed, but didn't say anything. He then gets up again and walked to the fridge to grab a third, or a thread? That's what it says here. Hey, homie, pizza. A lot of fast-acting carbohydrates in there, right? And then 3 sodas. This dude's blood sugar has to be through the moon. He's got to be an astronaut in outer space with this blood. That's crazy. 3 sodas? Are they regular Cokes or are they diet? It doesn't matter. I quickly interrupted him and said, nope, no. If you are very thirsty, you can have a water. You are not drinking all the sodas I just bought. To which he responds, what are you, my mom? I mean, apparently. It sounds like you need to contribute financially. You gotta share the burden of the cost. Very common in young relationships, all relationships, very common. No, but I'm your girlfriend and you didn't buy those, I did. When I want a soda, I want to be able to drink one. And he came to sit down. He was mad. I know this because he does this thing where he clenches his jaw and he didn't speak to me for a while. After this, I had the realization that he really is just living here without sleeping here. He's eating and drinking all of my food and using my utility. Dude, you're turning into the dad from Everybody Hates Chris, dude. Terry Crews's character. Yeah, man. Hey, welcome to being fiscally responsible. Congrats. Fiscally responsible, fiscally responsible. You gotta be fiscally responsible in a relationship, baby. So I thought carefully of what I wanted to say, and I got the right wording together. When he came over the next day, I brought up the conversation of, why don't you move in with me? And he just said, no, I don't want to. And I was like, what? Why? You basically live here without sleeping here. You are here every day and using all of my things. I know I shouldn't have snapped like that, but that just completely threw me off. His reasoning started with, I just want to finish school, which I would completely understand. If he was in school, he's not. Pardon? Huh? You work at a Wendy's. You're not applying for grad school. I just want to finish school. Huh? You're 19. You're not in college. You haven't applied for college. What's up? He missed the deadline to sign up for classes, so he is not enrolled right now, which I reminded him of. His next reason was, I don't want to live in an apartment. I want to live in a house. That's a very common experience, I feel like. So I then said, we are 19. We aren't established and don't have money to put into for a house. You have to be realistic. We can eventually get a house, but an apartment is a part of that step. That's true. It's the first step. You split expenses. You're able to save more money together, whatever. And then he responded with, I just don't want to move out. I like having no responsibilities. This was finally the real answer. Yeah, you guys have been together for almost 2 years. He must live with his mom or something. He must. I don't want to move out. I like having no responsibilities. I mean, that's just, what a man, huh? I told him since he didn't want to move out and help me, then he can't come over every day and we'll have to hang out at his house more often. It's been a week since this conversation and he's still coming over every day and I don't know what to do. I love his company, but I can't afford it. I still can't really wrap my head around his answer and I'm trying to respect it, but part of me wonders if it was someone else, would he want to live with them? Would he support them? Or does he just not see a future with me? I'm not sure what to do. Any advice is appreciated. Hey, guess what? In everyone's life, sometimes you're the teacher and sometimes you're the student. Today, you have found yourself in the position of teacher. It happens. That is life. That's what happens. And you're about to teach this man that he's got to level up and he can't just coast through life at 19 years old. Even at 19, you can't coast through life like that and expect to maintain relationships. You can coast, but that's just pure survival with no relationships. You can't have everything like that, okay? He's got to grow up a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot of bit. This guy's got to grow up a lot of bit. He's got to make money. He can't expect to have a house. And I hate to use the word entitled. This kid is very entitled. But that's it, right? I mean, it's time to break up with him. Really? I mean, this is definitely what I would call a shit or get off the pot situation. And dude's got to learn, hey, man, my girlfriend says I need to contribute financially and move in, split the rent, blah, blah, blah. I like having no responsibilities. Guess what a responsibility is? A relationship with somebody you've been with for almost 2 years. That's a responsibility. What do you mean? I'm not a responsibility? Dummy? I was listening to this book today called The Road Less Traveled, I think. It's like a really famous book that I've never read before. In it, I was just listening to it. It blew my mind. It said, love is work. And what I mean by that is like, it's effort. And like, I know that sounds so simple, but that also means the antithesis of love is laziness. When you don't do something, when you don't put energy into something, that is the opposite of love. Love is work. It's effort. It's energy. It's calories that you burn doing something. That's a demonstration of love, is burning calories for somebody. And if you're lazy, you don't want any responsibilities, you're not going to get a job, you're not going to go to school, you're not going to blah, 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 then that ain't love, dude. It's comfort. It's a blanket. It's not love. And if it is love, you need to learn how to show it or you're going to lose it. I want to get buff, but I don't want to go to the gym. What do? I don't get buff because you gotta build that thing. I'm losing the analogy here. Damn it. Wanting something is not the same thing as doing something. Wanting to be buff is not the same as going to the gym every day. You know what I mean? Like wanting your girlfriend to be happy with you in a relationship is not the same as doing the thing, doing the work, which is a demonstration of love. Hello? to keep that relationship going. I am dropping freaking heaters today, dude. And they aren't my heaters. They're from the road less traveled. But every once in a while, I got a good nugget out of a book. You know what I did? If you don't like listening to books or reading books, I just want to tell you something real quick. I heard something somewhere. If you get one tidbit of information from a book that is valuable, then the whole book was worth it. That changed my perspective. So I listen to books all the time. Edit, everyone is asking about the key. When I made a copy of my... Oh yeah, he's just letting himself in your house. What the f***? When I made a copy of my key, he was with me and suggested he should have one for emergencies. Dog. This dude is a moocher to the 10th degree. So I made him a copy too. He also has no responsibilities. His mom pays for his car and gas and clothes. His mom pays for his clothes at 19 years old. Come on. I'm taking everyone's comments into consideration and it's opening my eyes a lot. I'm going to try to have the conversation again tonight and I'll update when we talked. I hope you dumped him. Let's see. Let's find out. Did you dump him? Yes or no? Yes or no? I'm not sure if I update here or what to do really. We talked. This also just happened, so I'm mentally drained. So I'm sorry if this update isn't the best. I took his key like many of you suggested. Yes, good. That's a great step. I told him that until he learns to call me and ask if he can come over, then he cannot have the key. I also added with that, the key is only to be used for emergencies and I don't feel like he should have it. This is a good way to be a teacher without ending the relationship if you like the guy. He then agreed to this, also went on to explain that it feels like we are in two different mindsets, me having an apartment, steady income and responsibilities, and him living at home, no bills, etc. He then started to put the fault on me, saying it was too expensive and I shouldn't have moved out, but I didn't have a choice to move out. It was forced upon me. So he's saying that because you moved out of your folks' house and you live on your own, it's too expensive and you were irresponsible to do that and you shouldn't be sharing the burden with him. Is that his thesis there? He's mad that you grew up faster or were forced to grow up faster than him. That's what it sounds like to me. We argued back and forth about that for a while. He suggested me budget my money, but I literally don't spend anything other than what I need. I have an interview for a second job tomorrow. God, you gotta love this. You gotta love the way the world works, huh? That everybody needs two jobs. So I can start being able to afford the things I want. That's besides the point. It was dumb and felt like deflection on his end. We fought back and forth some more, and then it eventually ended with me saying that he is a child, correct. Who isn't wanting to grow up right now, correct. He lives with his mom, and I don't want that around me forever, correct. I don't know if we're broken up or what is really happening. I assume I'll know more about that tomorrow. Make it definitive, homie. Make that thing definitive, because unless you are making it definitive, it's ambiguous, it's up in the air, and you can find a guy. You're 19. Date somebody who's 20, or a 19-year-old with a job. Somebody who, or with a passion, somebody in college, somebody an effortful dude. Thank you for everyone for your support and kind words. It really means a lot and has helped me see things I couldn't see before. I'm glad I reached out on here. I'm glad you did too, homie. This is a mess. This dude is a loser. When I say loser, I mean somebody not willing to put in the effort to demonstrate love, because love is work. Yeah! All right, let's read these comments, right? He gets all the perks and none of the stress. You're funding his life, and this is him at his best. Frankly, I wouldn't let him move in. The fact that he takes so easily and never considers how his actions impact you is super gross and entitled. He is beyond selfish. You'll save money and have peace without him. True, you'll just save... Dude, when you're out of a relationship, you save money, so much money. Make sure you get the keys back or change the locks. Edited, NTA. Yeah, and this is where everybody's talking about getting the keys back. NTA, you're 19 with your whole life ahead of you. You can do way better than this guy. This got 24 replies. Way better. He is a child. Does he have a key? Take his key away. Everybody's saying take your keys away. Dang. And then here we go. Not the asshole. You can't force someone to move in if they don't want to, which is true. Yeah, don't force them to move in. It'd be bad for you both, right? But the first, what are you, my mom? Would have been enough for me to say, nope. Why don't you go home to your real mom and let her put up with you? I'm a dude, but the sentiment is still the same. Hey, man. Dude's gonna be mommy. All right. Anyway, outro. Bye.